Hey guys, it's Marsha from the blog sassycritic.com, and in today's video I'm going to be doing something totally different, totally new for me, very new for my channel. If you follow me on Twitter, then you may already know that I like reality TV shows. It's my guilty pleasure. I know a lot of them are not really real, but it's entertainment for me. I like to watch. And so on Twitter, I like to live tweet when I watch. It is just hilarious, the people on there who tweet about these reality shows. So anyway, I like to join in those conversations. So one of my favorite shows to watch is 90 Day Fiance, like all of them. Happily Ever After, Before the 90 Days, um, The Other Way, all of them. They're all just so interesting to me. So I've been encouraged by some of my fellow 90 Day Fiance tweeters to start doing recap videos on my YouTube channel. Now I know it doesn't fit with my content. I know, I get it. But what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'll probably do a few of these videos on my channel, and depending on how well they do, if they do well, I'll start a whole new channel just for that, where I could possibly even start recapping other shows. Okay, so hear me out. Bear with me. This is my first one. I'm a little nervous because this is the first of its kind that I'm doing. So in this video, I'm going to be recapping the first episode of season 3 of 90 Day Fiance, Before the 90 Days. So if you want to hear this recap and see what I think so far of the couples that they presented, stay tuned. Okay, so when I was watching the episode, it came on last night. Today is Monday. The show ends way too late for me to film the video right after because I'm tired. I want to go to bed. So I took notes in this little composition book, and I picked one with hearts because it's supposed to be all about love. But, you know, some of these hearts will probably have some breaks in it by the end of the season. So anyway, I'm going to talk about the couples in the order that they were shown in the show. The first person shown was Rebecca. Rebecca lives in Georgia. She's 47 years old, and she is a private investigator. Okay, let's keep that in mind. She's a private investigator. Okay, she in the opening scene, you know, she's introducing herself and everything, and she's showing herself she's on the job, and she's finding some guy's car. Somebody has hired her, I guess, to track their boyfriend, husband, whomever. She finds this guy's car, and she gets down on the ground, and she's putting a GPS tracker under his car. Okay, so you feel like, okay, she's a PI. She puts trackers on people's cars and whatnot. All right, she's about her business, right? Okay. So she has 3 kids. She has grandkids. But she's also been married 1, 2, 3 times before. She's been married 3 times. And now she has met some man, a 26-year-old man. Remember, she's 47. He's 26. She met a 26-year-old guy on Facebook named Zied. Okay? Zied lives in Tunisia. Tunisia. Okay, so she met him on Facebook. Never in person so far. Never. Okay. So of course, because he's younger, when they text back and forth, he's using a lot of emojis like hearts and kissy faces and stuff like that. So she's kind of has to get used to that, and she does the same. But get this. She did tell him her age. Okay. But apparently it didn't affect him. It didn't faze him. But due to, I guess, her own insecurities about her age and how she looks, she almost kind of catfishes him in a way, because She sends him pictures of her, but she uses filters, like Snapchat filters, you know, the ones that make you look like it's not even you, or like you're all made up. She uses those filters. There was a scene where she was talking to him on the phone, like a FaceTime kind of thing, and she used a ring light, much like the one I'm using now. Because of the lighting, she felt like it made her look better, look more youthful. So he has only seen her with filters and ring lights. Okay, all right. So but what's even more bizarre about this whole relationship and situation is that, number one, she seems a bit infatuated with him. She has a coffee mug with a picture of him on it. Okay. She has a framed, maybe 8 by 10 picture on the wall of him. She just thinks he's so cute. She loves his eyes and his lips. And then he sends her these videos, and to me, he's kind of creepy. He's like, I love you, baby. Mwah, mwah, mwah. My dog thinks I'm talking to him, but it's just odd to me. But she loves it. She's just so smitten by him. So let's see. I wrote down that he sent a creepy "I love you" video, because I'm sorry, the way he was looking, his voice, he's very monotone or whatever. To me, it was just like, what the kids say now, cringy. Now, this is her second time dating a guy from another country. The first time it was a guy from Morocco. And I think, is this the guy she married? I don't know. Anyway, she was with a guy from Morocco. He came to the States to be with her, and like within a few months, he was cheating on her. So, you know, that relationship ended. So there's a scene in the beginning where her coworker's like, well, have you done a background check on her? Remember, she's a private investigator, right? So naturally, you would think that would be the first thing she would do, is run a background check on this guy. No, no, she trusts him. Her coworker's like, girl. So the coworker's like, don't bother. I'll do it myself. She's going to run the background check and all that on him, and she'll report back to her. So, of course, her family, her kids think that she's off her rockers. They think she's crazy for doing this again, based on what happened before with Mr. Morocco. But she said that she blindly trusts him because he's sweet. He's just so sweet. Girl, sugar is sweet and it'll still make you fat, okay? Anyway, so in this one scene that I told you about where she uses a ring light to talk to him, she's like putting on her makeup and everything like that. She's getting all dolled up, which is understandable. You know, you want to talk to your boo over FaceTime. You don't want to be looking busted. So she does that, but the thing was she was using a ring light for the effect. Let's see. But in the end, she's saying how she's keeping a secret from him and she's kind of afraid to tell him. And the secret is that, remember I told you she was married 3 times? Well, her last husband, they've not been together, but they're also not divorced. Minor detail, right? She's never told Ziad this. They're not divorced, and then it shows her, I think he signed the paper, but she needed to sign and file, so it then showed her going down to the courthouse and filing the divorce papers. So clearly, Rebecca is just, you would think she'd know better, considering she's 47, she's a private investigator. You would think that she wouldn't be as gullible as she is, or just easily, I don't know, a fool. I just want to say fool. I'm trying to find a nice way to say it, but just like foolish is what comes to mind, really. So yeah, that's Rebecca so far. In this episode, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 5 5 different couples are introduced. I believe in this season there are a total of 7. So the second couple we move on to, the second person in the US is Caesar. Caesar. Okay, Caesar is a man who lives in Jacksonville, North Carolina. He is 46 years old. Caesar is seen in his first scene meditate. He gets dressed for work. Okay, he rides a bike to work, and he's all dressed, got his jacket on, everything, has his bike helmet, and then he sits on the couch and he meditates. Okay, you know, whatever makes your skirt pop, whatever. So he rides his bike to work, and Caesar is a nail tech. Okay, he was in a previous relationship, I think he said for 15 years, and learned how to do nails from his ex-girlfriend, and he loves it. He loves doing nails, and apparently at the nail salon he works at, he is one of the best there. And I must say, when I go to the nail salon, it tends to be the men who do a really good job. I mean, women do a good job too, but the men just seem to be even better. So anyway, Caesar's a good nail tech, right? So he has repeat customers. He has customers who really request him all the time and all that kind of stuff. So Caesar, I don't know if Caesar has kids. He did not mention it, but anytime he's on his couch, he always has these very juvenile looking blankets on the couch, and it just makes me wonder, are there children? Because there's like a pink one with like butterflies and stuff, and then there was another one that looked like it could have been like Spider-Man or something like that. I don't know. So I do wonder if there are some children, or maybe he's just very childlike in the things that he likes. I don't know. Anyway, Caesar has been dating this lady he met on a website, okay, called Anastasia Dates or something like that. Anyway, her name is Maria. She's 28 years old, okay. She lives in Ukraine. She's a 28-year-old in Ukraine. This dating site they met on is some kind of site where you can buy the person things via the website. So homeboy bought her some flowers for $450. Now, I don't know. I mean, he showed a picture of her holding these flowers, and they look like a bunch of long-stemmed roses. It didn't look like a room full of roses. Okay. So I don't know what costed $450. I couldn't imagine that roses are that expensive in Ukraine. I don't know. So he thinks that, what's her name, Maria, is his soulmate. Okay. Oh, they've never met. Okay, never met in person. They talk to each other on the phone. They text. They communicate through that dating app or whatever, and things like that. She sends him videos saying, "Oh, I love you, my baby. Ooh, I missed you, my baby. Ooh, ooh, ooh." But guess what? She never calls him Caesar. She always says my baby and stuff like that. Whatever. What else is it? Big Daddy, my baby. And he's probably thinking he is just the bomb, because here's this beautiful woman, young woman, calling him all this stuff. And then the producer asked the same thing I was thinking. Do you think she's sending other men these videos? Because she's not saying your name. Duh. And he's like, I hope not. Dude, how cute. Anyway, he's been dating this girl for, I think it said 5 years. Yeah, they've been dating for 5 years. Okay, 5 years. Online. Never met her in person. And she just calling him my baby and Big Daddy. Okay. And over this 5 years, Caesar has sent Maria over $40,000. And what has he seen? What does he have to show for that $40,000? You see what's in here? You see what's in there? Not a thing, okay? Nothing, nada. But he's not giving up on her. So in this episode, oh, no, let me tell you. He says that remember, he's a nail tech, okay? He's not falling out of control, okay? He's a nail tech. He makes, I'm sure, a decent salary for his own living situation, but he sends her $800 a month. $800 a month. that he really cannot afford to send her, because when he goes in the fridge, he opened up his fridge and it's empty. It's empty. Then he's looking at the sales paper for coupons for food. You know why? Because he's $800 short. Because he's been sending it to Ukraine. Okay. So anyway, and he even says that. He's like, money is tight because I send Maria $800 a month. Boy, Maria's good. Maria is okay. You don't want to have no food in your fridge. Okay. Anyway, so let's see. And he says the $800 is to help her pay bills, buy clothes for work. Oh, she works. She works. But yeah, he sends her money to pay her bills and buy clothes and all the little things that she needs and wants. Okay. And my thing is, you work at a nail salon. You meet women all the time. Why do you have to send some woman in the Ukraine who's practically a mystery woman because you've never met her and she keeps dodging you $800 a month? You got plenty of women right here. Anyway, I guess that can be said for all of these couples, but I digress. Okay. So, moving on, he has attempted, over the 5 years that they've been dating, he has attempted to see her 3 times, and every time he tries, she has some kind of excuse. One time, let me see, I wrote it down. He's always paid for everything already. It clearly didn't get insurance on his flights because he's always lost money out of it. She always has an excuse. I didn't write down what her excuses were. But anyway, now he's really trying to meet up with her again. So he calls her and he's like, hey, baby, I want to come see you in the Ukraine. I'm just going to come see you. And she's like, no, let's go to Mexico. And he's like, Mexico? Because obviously if he goes to the Ukraine, he just has to pay for his ticket to go to the Ukraine. But if they go to Mexico, he has to pay for his flight and her flight, which is even more money. So, but she wants to go to Mexico because, child, she says it's too cold in Ukraine. Like, this man can't buy a coat and some boots and go over to Ukraine. Okay, but whatever. She making excuses. First of all, I don't even like how she always talking all quiet, like she afraid her husband go hear her or something like that, because that's probably what's going on. But anyway, so he's like, oh, but that's going to cost me more money, thousands of dollars, blase, blase. But she's like, no, I really want to go to Mexico and we can have a vacation and it can be nice and warm and blase, blase. So he goes, first of all, you know, he can barely afford some groceries, okay? So he goes to work and his boss and everybody, his coworkers already know this situation with this girl. Everybody, I guess, has been telling him, dude, she's probably scamming you, you know, but he really feels like it's his soulmate. She's not scamming him. She's the real deal. He goes and he asks his boss for a loan so that he can go to Mexico to see her. And the boss is like, dog, what is wrong with you? You keep sending this woman money. Anyway, the boss kind of ask him questions like, are you sure this is for real? Are you sure this is not a scam? And you keep sending her money, blase, blase. But then in the end, the boss kind of feels bad for him and agrees to give him this loan. He didn't specify an amount, but the boss gives him the loan. So it's kind of like a pity loan, right? So he does reveal that he's afraid that she will move on without him if he doesn't meet up with her soon. Granted, it's been 5 years and she's still taking his money anyway. But she's the one who keeps kind of blowing him off. So he asks the boss for the money to fly them to Mexico. The boss told him he's wasting his time. Caesar is clearly delusional about this whole situation, but the boss says he'll help him. So, you know, he's a sucker just for doing that. So I'm like, all right, dog, you're going to get this money for these tickets. You better get insurance on these tickets. But he probably doesn't have the extra money to get the insurance because, I mean, you know, anyway, I don't know. So he sends her $2,000 to book her ticket to Mexico. And he says, I would have booked the ticket myself, but I wanted to send her the money so that she can be in control of when she books her flight and that kind of stuff, right? Cue Fred Sanford, you big dummy, you know? So anyway, so of course, he goes to the place to wire her the money, right? $2,000. And then probably goes home to eat like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? Because he has no other food in the house. He calls her, and of course she already has an excuse. She got the money. She got the $2,000. Did she say thank you? I didn't hear it. She got the $2,000, but she's like, oh, no planes are flying out. Something is going on. There's like, I don't know, some kind of war. Something's going on in the Ukraine, and no planes are leaving the country. So she cannot buy a ticket. And he's like, but I already bought my ticket. And she's getting frustrated and upset with him for like pushing her or whatever. And he was really holding back tears. And at one point the tears did start falling. And I was just like, dude, how did you not expect that? You've already tried 3 times over 5 years and she keeps making excuses. And now you're doing this again. You sent her $2,000 that wasn't even yours. And now you have to pay back your boss. And you have nothing to show for it. Like, how stupid can you be? I'm going to be honest with you. In the beginning, I felt bad for Caesar because he seemed like maybe he's just a really lonely guy with low self-esteem who feels like maybe he can't get a woman. And I don't know. This is just an assumption, right? Because he seems like he's a nice guy. But Caesar ain't wrapped too tight. Caesar can't be that smart, right? He can't be. Because for 5 years, he's been sending this woman money and still can't see her in person. She always has an excuse. It's obvious she's taking your money, dude. Like, well, what's that meme with the girls like, you know? That's pretty much how it is. The next person on the show is Avery. Avery lives in Columbus, Ohio. She is only 19 years old. What the hell is she doing on the show? I don't know. She's 19. She's still a baby. What's she doing? Anyway, Avery is 19 years old, and she converted to Islam 6 months prior to, I guess, you know, whenever they were taping the show. She grew up in a Christian family. Her family still is Christian, but she took an interest in the Muslim religion, and she converted. Fine. So now she's different. She describes herself as what she used to be, an all-American girl. She was a cheerleader and did all this kind of stuff. She partied and da 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 da. Now that she's Muslim, she doesn't. You know, she keeps her hair covered. Really, the only thing I think she says she shows are her face and her hands, right? Yeah, face and her hands due to her religion. So now that she's Muslim, she went on a Muslim dating app and she found this guy that she really liked. His name is Omar. He's 24 years old, but Omar lives in Syria, like war-torn Syria, okay? But on his profile on the dating app, it said that he was American. And then she found out he lives in Syria. So that was kind of like womp womp. But she really, really likes Omar. So they call each other king and queen. And child, after 1 month, right? 30 days, maybe 31, depending on what month it was. He proposed to her online, because of course they've never met in person. He proposed to her online and mailed her engagement ring. So he mails her the ring, and in my head I'm thinking that has got to be like one of the most, I'm sure she was excited, but it's got to be like a really impersonal proposal, you know? I mean, she did say she got to pick the ring. So in my head I see it going like, you know, they're on Skype or FaceTime or something, and he's like, oh, baby, will you marry me? And she's like, oh, yes, I will. And he's like, okay, I'm going to send you some rings. I'm going to email you, and you pick which one you like. And she's like, oh, I like that one. And he said, okay, it's in the mail. I'm going to send you the tracking number. And then she gets it, and she's like, oh, I my ring. I don't know. To me, it's just weird. But I guess that's what they had to do. But in the Muslim religion, you cannot date like that. So they can't even kiss, is what she was explaining. So they have to kind of be engaged so that they can be together. So her plan is now, instead of going to Syria, because there's a lot of crap going on in Syria, she doesn't want to be there for. So her and her mom are going to Lebanon to meet him, where she will marry him. So it's not like she's just going there to meet him and say, hey, let's hang out, whatever. No, she's going to marry the man. Mom, she lives with her mom, I think stepdad, her 5 siblings, and her grandma. And they think she is totally wackadoo, but they also think she has really changed a lot as a person. I kind of didn't like how they criticized her for converting to Islam. I kind of felt like they were being a bit disrespectful in that and not accepting it. And I'm not for, judging people by what faith they want to live by, what their spiritual practices are, because I mean, if that's what resonated with her, that's what resonates with her. It's not like she did it for him, because she converted to Islam before she even met him. So, it had nothing to do with him. So she's doing it in order to be with him. So I wasn't really cool with the way kind of her family talked about her for that. But at least her mom is going to go with her to Lebanon to meet this guy. They do have their doubts. They do have their concerns, of course. Plus, she's 19. She's still a kid. I still don't know why she's doing all this so early. So let's see. I'm trying to see what other oh, and then she goes to meet her friend Rachel, her good friend. Rachel's dad is a minister. He expresses his concern about the Muslim value system regarding women, and how women are treated and how women are viewed. And this is what he's expressing to her, but she feels like it's all going to be good. And she tells them they're engaged. So she's telling her the friend and the friend's family for the first time that they're actually engaged. And they're just trying to give her pieces of advice and ask questions. But she's also going to get married at this point in 11 days, after she gets to Lebanon. But a secret that she's keeping from her family, see, some people are full of secrets. This girl is keeping a secret from her family, and she tells the friend and the friend's family that her plan is to move to Syria after they get married. Who the hell wants to move to Syria? You know what's going on over there. Why you want to move your ass over there? I don't understand. So of course everybody's like, what? Anyway, she hasn't told her mom yet, and she asked them not to say anything to her mother. So moving on to the next person, somebody we already know. She's not new. Good old Darcy from Connecticut. Darcy, you will remember if you watch the show, she was in a previous season. She was dating this younger guy named Jesse, who was from Amsterdam, and their relationship was totally toxic and an epic fail. It was just horrible. I'm glad she kicked him to the curb. I think he just wanted attention and wanted to stay in America and maybe model or something like that, but that's over, thank goodness. So Darcy, it turns out, during her trials and tribulations with Jesse, was talking to this other guy who lived in the UK that she met where? On Facebook? Yeah, met him on Facebook 4 years ago. He looks like he's closer to her age. I didn't catch his age, but he looks like he's definitely closer to her age. He lives in England. His name is Tom. And when her and Jesse were going through their rough patches, which was practically their whole relationship, she would, I guess, confide in Tom, and he would console her. Tom, at the time, I guess, was in a relationship with somebody as well, but they are now both single and trying to mingle with each other now, I guess. So she is trying to go, she calls Tom like a James Bond type guy. He's very dapper, well put together, all that kind of stuff. So she's going to England to meet him, even though her relationship with Jesse was tough. I don't know why Darcy wants to put herself in this same kind of position again by going and meeting somebody that she doesn't even know in person. But I don't know, especially after how it affected her daughters. Um, I don't know. I don't understand. But anyway, the girls seem to like Tom, but they really want Darcy to be cautious about it. And I mean, why put the kids through that all over again? I don't know. Anyway, the kids, one of her daughters said, hopefully she knows what she's doing. And that's what we all hope. We all hope that she knows what she's doing. But I tell you what she needs to stop doing is talking about Jesse. Because every time she has an opportunity, she's talking about Jesse and starts crying. Because she's talking about how he hurt her and blah, blah, blah. Girl, get over it. I don't think she's over Jesse, to be honest with you. I think Tom might be a rebound because he was there. He was her virtual shoulder to cry on, and that's what this is. So anyway, her and her sister, her twin sister, they now live together. I guess that TLC check got cashed. They bought a nice big house, so she lives with her sister and her girls in this nice house. So her and her sister went to get some cold laser therapy and some injections in their face, child. Because, you know, Darcy is very self-conscious about how she looks. She always wants to look really good for her man, which is kind of normal, but the way she does it is like she has low self-esteem. You know, I don't even think she accepts who she is, and I really wish that she would just love herself more, because she wouldn't be so concerned, because she talks a lot about wanting to look good for him, and you know, I don't know, I think she has low self-esteem. Now her sister is engaged to a guy who lives in Albania, but she's been to see him, like I think she said 5 times or something like that. But so she advises Darcy to take it slow with Tom. So anyway, while they're at the place getting the injections, right after they do the injections in her face, she's looking in the mirror and she's like, "Ooh, oh my God, I look so good. I look like the old me." I'm like, girl, they just did it. I didn't see a difference, but you know, Darcy sees what she wants to see. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that at some point Tom sent Darcy a ring. It's not an engagement ring, not like Avery's. It's just a ring. It's a very pretty ring. I think it was some kind of promise ring. And maybe it's not a promise ring. Maybe it's just a gift, but it's a very pretty ring. And she wears it on her left ring finger as if it's a wedding or engagement ring. And of course, she posted it on her Instagram. And of course, Mr. Jesse had a lot to say about it, but you know, he likes attention, so of course he's gonna say something. What I was saying was, they're talking to each other on the computer, FaceTime, Darcy and Tom. And she's planning her trip to come see him, and she asks him something like, okay, so when I see you at the airport, like, how do you want me to act? Can I like jump on you and all this kind of stuff? And he's like, actually, I'm not coming to pick you up from the airport because he says, being that it's such a long flight for her, he doesn't really want to see her right after she gets off the plane because her breath might not be so fresh and her body, I guess, might not be so fresh from that long time spent traveling. So he's going to send a car to come pick her up so that she has some time to freshen up before she sees him. In my mind, I was like, I see what he's saying, but that's kind of messed up. Like, you would think he'd be so excited to see her that he'd just come pick her up and just accept the fact that, okay, I know it's been a long flight. As soon as she gets to the hotel or wherever she's staying, she can take a shower and freshen up and whatever. But he's like, no, I'm going to send the car to come get you. I'm sorry, my dog is doing something. I'm going to send a car to come get you so that you can be nice and fresh when I see you, okay? You can be funky for the driver or for the airport, when you're in the airport. That's why I guess we see the previews of her freshening up in the airport. And Darcy was like, oh, that's so sweet of him. Oh my God, yeah. I'm like, girl, okay. Anyway, so, but even on the phone, she talks a lot about Jesse, and he has to tell her let's just stop talking about Jesse, okay? He's in the past. Leave it alone. It's me and you now, okay? Like, it's us here, okay? So that's why I'm really thinking that this guy might be a rebound for Darcy, because she's just not over Jesse or how Jesse made her feel, and she just keeps talking about it. I don't know. I don't know. So now the last person that they bring up is this guy named Timothy. Timothy is a 38-year-old man who lives in North Carolina, and he's like Mr. Cool, driving his Ferrari down the street in his opening scene, and which, based on what he says, he's overcompensating for his insecurities, because he says when he was a kid, he was teased for not being attractive and all this kind of stuff. But now he's a successful entrepreneur and he's got money. And so he's got all these fancy toys and expensive things, which of course attracts women, right? So it shows him in the gym. He's not a buff guy by any means, okay? He's not buff, but apparently he's trying to get in shape. It shows him in the gym and he's lifting this bar, but on either end of the bar, like 2 training wheels. And it's like, what is he lifting? What is he lifting? Like a tricycle thing? Like, what is that? Like, they got that in the gym? You would think he'd be lifting something heavier, you know? And it looks like he's got a trainer there next to him, like spotting him. I'm like, what are you doing? His little lanky self lifting training wheels. Anyway, I don't know what that was about. But he's trying to get in shape. He has met this woman in Colombia, the same part of Colombia that Pau is from. Pau and Russ, yes, Cucaramanga, whatever. So he met this woman. Her name is Jennifer. He met her on a website. To my knowledge, he has not met her in person either. So none of these people have met their significant others in person. So Jennifer's 25 years old. She lives in Colombia. She has a daughter, okay? Now, Timothy has a daughter. It's not his blood daughter, but he considers her his daughter. He was in a previous relationship where he was engaged to this other woman, his ex-fiance, and it's her daughter. Her daughter's name is Chloe. Chloe, I didn't write down her age, but I'm thinking she's somewhere around 8 to 10 years old. But Timothy and this ex-fiance split up 4 years ago, but they have still remained good friends, and he stays in Chloe's life, and he says they co-parent Chloe together. Chloe seems to think the world of him because she knew him since she was little. So like to her, he is like her dad, okay? Chloe thinks that Timothy is crazy for dating Jennifer because she lives in another country. Anyway, his ex-fiance seems very attached to him. I don't know why they broke up, but she's very attached to him, and she's very attached to them being a unit, like a family, even though they're not together as a couple, which is weird to me. I think Timothy is more attached to Chloe, and has a friendship with this ex-fiance. But he said that the ex-fiance has caused issues in previous relationships of his, because I guess she gets jealous and doesn't want anybody else taking up his time or taking him away from them. Even though they're no longer together, and she doesn't want the new girl in Colombia to mess up their family. Okay, so but honestly, I think the girl that he's dating, what's her name, Jennifer, in Colombia, I think that he's just happy she's a pretty girl giving him attention. You know what I mean? Because he really talks about how much he did not get attention from girls growing up, because he was, you know, like the ugly duckling. So, and I don't think he's not a bad looking guy, but maybe he was just awkward growing up or something. Anyway, he's talking to Jennifer on FaceTime or whatever. And one thing I definitely noticed is her head is always like this. Like she's always like, this, always tilted. And I'm like, is that her good side? Does she think that just looks really sexy? Does she have a vision issue where she has to kind of, you know, use that other eye forward? I don't know. But that's how she always is. Even in the pictures, you can see that's how she's looking. So, anyway, then she talks about this $500 dress that she saw that she really likes. And he's like, oh, send me the link. You know, he's going to send her the money for that dress. Anyway, he tells her he's planning to go to Colombia to visit Jennifer, right? And he tells her that his fiance is throwing him a farewell party. You see, she's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She's throwing a farewell party. So of course Jennifer does not like this. Who would? She's like, She said, when I come to America, that's a wrap on her. She not about to be all up in our lives like that. You're gonna have to separate. So anyway, and she's like, oh, what's going to be happening at this party? I'm not going to be there. I don't know what you're going to be doing. I need to see pictures. I want to know exactly what you're doing all the time. She want picture and video. I guess you don't want a Pedro situation. You ain't about to be swinging nobody around on your hips, okay, at this farewell party. So that was pretty much it for the notes that I took for this episode. And in the previews of what's to come this season, it seems like everybody is going to go visit their significant other in another country except Caesar. It doesn't seem like things work out with Caesar and what's her name, Maria. I mean, no surprise there, because that storyline doesn't really look like it's going anywhere. It looks like kind of a Nicole and Azan type of situation, except Nicole and Azan actually met. And I don't even think he's going that far with Maria in Ukraine. But everybody else is going to go to the other country to see their significant others, meet them for the first time in person, and see how things go. So, I'm interested to see that. In the next episode, I'm assuming we are going to be introduced to the other two couples. Actually, one is a repeat, Angela and Michael in Nigeria. Angela's from Georgia. That hot mess of a thing. I don't know what's going on there. And then there's another couple, this guy going to meet with his girlfriend in Kenya, maybe? Kenya? She looks very young. Anyway, so yeah, so that is the rundown of the first episode of season 3 of 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. So everybody's trying to find love abroad. I guess there's a shortage of people here in the US, so it looks more appealing to just go abroad and marry somebody you really don't know, but who's taking your money. You know, I don't know. If that's what floats people's boats, hey, it ain't for me. But we shall see what happens on the next episode. Tell me in the comments, did you watch this episode? What did you think about these couples, child? What are your thoughts? And I probably have more thoughts that I haven't expressed because it is late at night that I'm recording this video. So I'm kind of tired. Not kind of, I am tired. I'm pretty sure I have bags under my eyes. I am tired. So I have a lot of thoughts running through my head about some of these couples that I may not have remembered to express, but TLC, they know how to pick them. They really know how to pick these people. But anyway, let me know in the comments if you like this video and if you'd like to see me start a new channel specifically for recapping reality shows and maybe what shows you'd like to see me recap in the future. I'm just going to start with this show for now and see how this goes. But just give me your thoughts on it. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you're new to this channel, if you're watching this channel because of the recap, this channel is mainly about beauty and lifestyle kind of topics. So if you like that, subscribe anyway, right? Subscribe. So you can see that stuff and get notifications, right? And watch my other videos. Other than that, guys, I'll see you next time for episode 2. Bye-bye.